Danny Flexent here for Seconds Out with British featherweight champion Ryan Walsh. Ryan, we've just had the draw for the MTK Golden Contract Tournament. You were picked rather than being given the power to pick. That's the nature of the tournament. How did you feel, first of all, about being in that position? You've struggled to get fights, so to have someone who actually wants to fight you must be a blessing.
It was brilliant. It's a challenge, isn't it? Someone said, yeah, the guy had a 50-50 and he decided I was the easier draw, obviously. That's the only conclusion you can come to. So the challenge has been well accepted. I accepted this challenge when I signed the contract. I was willing to fight any of the 7. And you can't prepare for this. The beauty of this ball draw is you can't prepare for anything until you're actually in that ring. You get your draw and you get a couple of minutes to think what you want to do. The second you pick a red ball, get them over. You just go and stand there. It was a really, really good concept. I'm massively behind it. I think this will be the start of something in boxing where they're cutting out all the politics, all the rubbish. Do you want to fight? Yes. We've got a venue. We've got the fighters. Let's do it. And it's brilliant. It's really, really good.
And you were picked, of course, by the Cuban mystery man to an extent in Socarras. His trainer Jorge Rubio's right next to us there, so we don't want to give too much away, I guess. But you were saying off camera earlier, I was eavesdropping, I apologise, but you said you thought it might have had something to do with size, why he picked you in a 50-50 chance, that he looked and maybe you were a bit smaller than the other option.
Possibly. I think the Mexican's even more unknown than him. So do you pick something where you can look back, you can go on tonight, go on YouTube, get as much footage, I can do it with him. So maybe tactically, but I was watching him looking at his trainer, and I don't think they planned it until on the spot. So he's looked and he fancied the littler guy, possibly, because the other guy's a giant. He's a big boy, so it'll be interesting to see how Hairon does with him. And I just think this whole concept is brilliant. I'm really excited. If I wasn't in the tournament, I'd be glued to the telly watching. It's simple. It's got 4 decent fights with. The ball draws, it's really, really good, and I'm a boxing fan. First and foremost, I'm a boxing fan, and I think it's a really, really good concept. And it's a shame I'm gonna have to wait. I'm not gonna get to watch it live. I'm not sure how it's gonna work out with when you're fighting now. I hope the fights kind of go with a draw. So the first fight was made, but we'll see how it all goes. I'm overthinking a little bit.
It's unlike you.
Yeah, and over talking.
What's the situation with the British title? Just clarify it for us, because we were told that maybe it's not enough time to have it on the line if it had been one of the British opponents that you ended up with.
You know what, I don't understand that, and I'm hoping the British Board of Boxing come to the senses with tournaments like this. I have had 2 mandatories pull out on me in the space of how long, you know, and this doesn't happen. So if you can't, no one can force no one to fight. You know, the people I'm talking about, I'm not going to give it. They know who they are, they know what they've done. They didn't want to fight me. Okay, for business, whatever you want to call it.
Rubio creeping behind you, getting a bit of insight.
You'd be getting a bit of information on my frustration.
Yeah. It was almost on your shoulder then.
I feel like this is the best way to stop politics, stop people trying to dodge and fight. Do you want to fight? And I didn't understand with the British. It's the first I've heard of it today, and I'm hoping for the future part of the tournament it can be.
Well, presumably there'll be more notice in the future rounds than there has been for this time.
I hope so, and more likeliness, because if so many British go through, then they're more likely to try and set it. And I understand they've got rules, they've got to make mandatories. That's brilliant. But I think I'm quite a special case when you've got 2 mandatories. No belt quite like it. It's a British belt in boxing. I've argued with people over this. I think the Man on Ring magazine.
Again, unlike you.
Fisher started telling me that Ring magazine, the Rocky belt, was the beautiful. Either way, I don't want to go on about that, but either way.
It does preserve, though, a potential Walsh-Wood final for the British and Commonwealth title, which I'm sure a lot of people would like to see saved to the final.
Well, let's be honest, when Wood come up first, did you not think he was going to pick me?
So,
I stood there saying, you going to pick me?
We interviewed him earlier and he said you were his original first choice, but when he found out the board weren't willing to sanction the fight for the British title, he didn't want to take the risk for nothing on the line.
How can you know that's the case when I don't even know that's the case? I come in as British champion.
Yeah, I mean,
when I was British champion, I can tell you that. So I don't understand. How can they not sanction him?
But given that he didn't
sanction him once before I got the Bellotti fight,
yeah,
we was gonna fight, and had he kept his date, I wouldn't have fought Bellotti. I'd have fought him. I'm a man of my word.
I mean, given that he didn't pick you, were you surprised that he picked David Oliver Joyce rather than perhaps, I don't know, the Spaniard or the Mexican?
When he opened his mouth, he let into a lot of things. I think he suspects I'll go through. And even hopes. It's a British fight. He wants to win the British title. Not that I'm going to let that happen. But he's picked a guy stylistically similar to myself, same height, same stature, orthodox. Right. And when he said I'm going to keep that close to my chest, I thought, well, from the second he started talking, you didn't really. he's clever. It's a clever thing to do, isn't it? It's your first fight. You want to see how the tournament's going. I'll pick someone stylistically like him. You can say about the background stuff with regards to the British board, but that's all unheard to me. I signed in this tournament as British champion to defend my British title. I've said to the MTK boys as well, I want the 12 rounds. This is my first 10 rounder in, wow. When was the last time I had a 10 rounder? My English title fight?
Yeah.
This has been a long
Sammy
time.
Manning, was it?
No, that wasn't English, that was my Brit. That was my second
Oh, that was the
British.
vacant British, yeah.
It was Richards.
Oh, yeah.
At York
Yeah,
Hall.
Richards, yeah.
So that's the last time I've done a 10 rounder. So that's going to be interesting in itself. I can't remember the last time to prepare. I prefer for 12 rounds. So I've got 2 rounds in the bank. I've got 2 rounds to
That's
try
one way of looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really...
You can win 2 of the rounds 10-8. There you go.
That's exactly what you've nailed it.
Thanks, mate. You can give me a percentage after the fight. I'll take half of Graham's. No, really appreciate your time. Can't wait to watch the fight on Friday night, and best of luck.
Cheers, thank you.